Hi guys, my name is Lizzie. Welcome to my channel, I guess, because this is my first video. I'm gonna be going over the books that I read in May today. I read 6 books in May, which is pretty good, especially it being final season for the first half of that. So yeah, let's get into the books. The first book that I read this month, I don't have a physical copy of, but it was The Red Skulls of Magic by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. This is the first book in the Eldest Curses series trilogy, which is a spin-off of the Mortal Instruments series, which is by Cassandra Clare. I gave this 5 stars. Basically, anything that Cassandra Clare writes that involves old characters, so this series follows Magnus and Alec, it's probably gonna be a 5 stars for me. Honestly, half because of the nostalgia factor. Like, I've been reading these books since I was 13. I'm 19. It's a whole thing. Like, I love them so much. I feel like I grew up with them. But in all seriousness, I did think this was a really, really cool expansion on this world. We follow Magnus and Alec during the period of City of Fallen Angels, which is the 4th Mortal Instruments book, while they are on vacation in Europe, and some shenanigans ensue. We get all the normal kind of Shadowhunter stuff, demons, magic, all that, and I really, really enjoyed it. It's kind of hard to talk about without spoiling things because it's like so rooted in having knowledge of the Mortal Instruments series, but I really, really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. I really liked seeing the beginning phase of the relationship between Magnus and Alec, because that's something that we do see, but not to this scale. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. So that was my first book. It took me forever to read because I started it around when it came out, in April, and then I just got hit with finals and exams and papers and all that fun college stuff. So it took me a minute, but I got back home and I did it. The next book that I read, I also don't have a physical copy of because I was so excited and I didn't want to wait that I just bought it as an ebook. But I probably will buy a physical copy of it soon because I loved it that much. And that was Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Everyone has been raving about this book, and for good reason. It was so good. If you don't know, Red, White, and Royal Blue is a romance book that follows Alex Claremont Diaz. He is the son of the first female president of the United States, and it's a romance between him and one of the princes of England. It's kind of enemies to lovers. It was gay, it was really cute, it was so funny. I feel like a lot of times when authors try to write dialogue or like texts like between like young adult characters, it's still like really, really like old school, like really out of date. Like it'll be like LOL, like, and like numbers with like words with numbers in them. Like the one I'm thinking of is like hate, like H8, like no, like we've been new, like no one talks like that anymore. Like it's like they don't know what Stan Twitter is basically. But this book like felt like that. Like all of the jokes were so funny, they landed so well, and Alex is from Texas, I'm from Texas. I felt a lot of like kinship there. I felt a lot of y'all representation. I didn't realize how many people in my life / people I know say y'all. Not even just in Texas, just in general. Like people who say y'all. And like how I'd never really seen that in a book before. And I was like, I like this. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It was so good. The romance was so well developed. All of the characters felt really, really real and really fleshed out. And it was just so good to like, it was a really good escapism book because it's a world that like I'm so not unfamiliar with, but it's like I'm not going to be the first daughter anytime soon, if you know what I mean. So it just was really, really good, and I loved all the characters so much. yeah. So I don't really know what else to say, but just read it. It was so good. Yeah, overall, 10 out of 10. Really, really enjoyed it. Really would recommend it. If you're looking for something really cute, really fluffy, it is new adult, I guess. I guess it's new adult. It's not young adult. They're like there's sex scenes, I guess, and language. So take that as you will. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Really, really good. Really, really loved it. Great. Let's move on. Next, I reread the entire Infernal Devices series. I don't know, I was feeling, and I tabbed them all for the first time. I was feeling really, like, nostalgic, and really, like, I hadn't reread this series since I first read it, and I was like, it's time. Like, I need to revisit these characters, especially having read Red Scrolls of Magic earlier. There's some talk about, not really talk, but if you've read it, you know. And I was just like, it's time. And I really, really enjoyed them. So I guess I'll go in order. I mean, I don't really have that much new to say about these. The first one is Clockwork Angel. The second one is Clockwork Prince. And the third one is Clockwork Princess. This series is the second, like, series within the Shadowhunter Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, and this series is set in, what time period? In 1870s London, and we follow a girl named Tessa Gray, and she has just come over from America, to live with her brother, but she is kidnapped, and, then, eventually rescued by the Shadowhunters, and there's a lot of intrigue about stuff that's happening. I don't really know how to describe this plot because, let's be honest, am I reading this for the plot? No. Am I reading it for Hair Greystairs and the romance? Yes. Like, the plot was good the first time, but especially with these, the plot feels less high stakes because it's set in 1878. It's like, we know relatively that everything's gonna be okay. Like, in the grand scheme of the whole world, you know? Like, in the Mortal Instruments, or in the Infernal Devices, or in the Wicked Powers, which hasn't come out yet and won't come out for a while. Like, those stakes feel so much higher because, like, that's now. So, like, fair game. But it's like, we know that there's 2 centuries. There's almost a century and plus worth of a century's. Is a century 100 years? How long is a century?
The answer I found is 100 years.
Sophomore in college. We know that there's a century plus of history, like, of time after these books take place. So the, like, grand scheme of, like, danger to me is, like, not as bad or doesn't feel as high stakes. But where these books really shine is in the characters and in the romance. I would die for Will Herondale. I would die for Jem Carstairs. I would die for Charlotte Branwell. I would die for Tessa Gray. I would die for Wessa. We get the point. Yeah, I can't really go book by book, like, without spoiling anything. There's a lot of tabs, though, because I had a lot of feelings, but they're so good. They're so well written. They just really suck you in. It's kind of funny because the first time I read Clockwork Angel, I wasn't that into it. Like, I just had trouble getting into it. I don't know why. I think I was just like, this isn't the Mortal Instruments. Like, this isn't Jace. Like, I don't care. And it's not that I wasn't excited about it, but I just was like already so attached to the other characters that I was like less willing to give this a chance. But now I think these might be some of my favorites. I don't know, but really, really good. If you have not started the Shadowhunter Chronicles yet, I don't know what you're doing. I've been here for 6 years. I'm probably going to be here for at least another 4. I'm literally probably going to be here until Cassandra Clare stops publishing Shadowhunter books, because I'm emotionally invested, and that's it. So yeah, so those are the next 3 books I read, and then the last book that I read in the month of May was Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I loved this so much, like so much. Taylor Jenkins Reid is the author of The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I also read this year. I read it in April, so back to back. And that blew up on BookTube last year. This one is kind of blowing up this year. Everyone's just loving Taylor Jenkins Reid, and for good reason. If you don't know what this is about, where have you been? I'm kidding. This follows a band called Daisy Jones and the Six. They rose to fame during the 70s, and then by 1979, they broke up. So this book follows the formation of the band and the relationships between the band members, and it goes literally from the very beginning all the way to their final day as a band and what happened to make them split up. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. Like I said before, it's really cool, and I didn't know this, but the whole book is told in like dialogue, like interview format, which for me made it really, really easy to get through. It felt like it went by really fast. And I felt like all the characters in this were really, really well crafted. I felt like I knew all of them. Like, this felt like a real band, like that existed in the 70s and then doesn't anymore. And it was also really fun because I feel like you could see where she got some of her inspiration from. There's one scene that is such a Fleetwood Mac callback. Like, I actually screamed. It was so good. There's a lot of, yeah, I feel like you can see a lot of Fleetwood Mac influence in here. You can see, there's probably others. I'm just a really big Fleetwood Mac fan because of my mom. So, and because they're amazing. So I saw a lot of that influence in here, and it was really, really cool. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. I thought the characters were really well developed. Also, she actually wrote like lyrics to all the songs that are in the back, which is just amazing. Like, she not only wrote a whole novel, but she wrote actual songs, with like good lyrics, which I think is really, really cool. Yeah. The characters are all really good. I thought the setting was really, really cool. It felt really true to the time period. I could see all the influences, not all of them because I'm 19 and wasn't alive in the 70s and whatever, but I can see some of the influences that she took when she was writing this, and I really enjoyed that. And just a really, really, really stellar book. Would recommend it. It's being turned into a TV show by Reese Witherspoon, so read it. So that was all the books that I read in May. I really, really hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, let me know what you read in May, if you want. That would be cool. I don't really care. I mean, I do care, but if like you don't want to let me know, I don't, like, that would be fine too. That's what I mean. Anyways, I'm gonna go, but I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you for the next one. Bye!